Hello and welcome to a new episode of the Meeples Corner news show. As you can see, this week we have a slightly different setup because I have rearranged some of the tables and the shelving here in the shop. And good news is this week was really busy. First week in quite a while that I had new games coming in nearly every day. And as you can see, there are so many of the new games that I had to put them all up on a separate shelf so I can show them to you. And that's what I do next. I will take off the camera from the holder and get a bit closer to the shelf so I can show you all the new games. And then afterwards we sit down at the table again and I can give you a short outlook what's going to happen next week. Next week will be a bit quieter, but the games that are coming in sound really interesting. So yeah, we're going to have a closer look at the shelf and then we're back at the table to talk about next week. Okay, so here we are taking a closer look at the new games coming in this week. The first one is Fired Up from Meeples Games. It's the big base game and two of the expansions. As you can see, the expansion is a miniature based game. They get you new cards, new miniatures with different abilities compared to the figures in the base game. This is the monster expansion with 4 big miniatures and their cards and all the components. I really like the design of the miniatures. They look quite fantastic. So that's first game. Then we have, you can see here, 7 Bridges. A nice looking roll and write game about the bridges in the European city of Königsberg. And we have from Gremlin Games Tiny Epic Pirates. Tiny Epic Games always quite popular. It comes together with the first expansion, Curse of Amdiag. And then we have the slightly bigger game, Villainy from Skybound Tabletop. That's also really good looking fantasy game. And then we're going down here. We have the second expansion for War Chest, bringing Siege Engine and Siege Warfare into the game. And we have a small 2-player game from Space Cowboy, Botanic. It's a limited edition that comes with a metal coin included to mark the first player. It's a tile laying game where you going to set up a irrigation system for your plants. Then we have behind the two, we have Steampunk Rally Fusion, which is a standalone game, but it's also combinable with the old Steampunk game, so you have more racers, more track options. But if you don't have Steampunk, you can start with this one. That's a standalone one. And then we put Botanic to the side. Then we have the brand new second edition of Suburbia. And together with the second edition of Suburbia, we have an expansion called Suburbia Expansions. It's a big box because it includes 5 different expansions all in one box. So that could be interesting for anybody who missed out on Suburbia so far. Really, really good solid city building game. And we're going a bit further down. And it's Rocketmen from Martin Wallace, a deck building game. And the big one that came in yesterday is After the Empire. Really popular game that was on Kickstarter, and I had a lot of requests about customers who picked up on the Kickstarter afterwards when it was already over and they were interested in getting the retail edition, and it's now available. Then we have the second edition from Waste Knights. It's available from this week, and brand new from Germany, from Pegasus, we got the Talisman RPG. That's the brand new design Pegasus Spiele designed after they won the license for Talisman from Games Workshop. It comes in 2 different editions. We have the limited edition. It's a leather-bound hardcover with solid corners, so there's no way you can damage your book when you play it and use it. Then we have the normal standard edition. It's a pretty hefty book with over 300 pages, and it's a 3D6 system, so all you need to play besides the rule book is 3D6 and a pen, and you can start. Then another new game from Pegasus is Doodle Dungeon. It's with artwork from John Kovalic. He's known from the Munchkin games, and in this game you're basically a dungeon keeper, and you draw your dungeon. You can upgrade the monsters defending it, and then the hero comes in and you have to fight against the hero to save your dungeons from the intruders. It's a silly looking artwork, but from the description and the age recommendation, it doesn't sound like it's a children's game or anything. It's more like a funny fantasy game for slightly older children and grown-ups who like these style of games. Then we have the new exit puzzle from Cosmos, Deserted Lighthouse. I came in yesterday. The exit puzzles basically combine the principles of the exit games with a jigsaw puzzle, and they are quite popular at the moment, where people looking for games they can play on their own. But the advantage with this one is also that it's not just a single player game, it's up to 4 players, so that's interesting. And the last new bits we got in are 2 new folded space inserts. We have the Praga Caput Regni insert, and we also have the Rajas of the Ganges insert. So these 2 are new in, and we have a small restock of some other ones, so you can check on the website what's in stock at the moment. Yeah, so these are all the new games, quite a lot this week, so I can't complain. And then we can go back to the table, and I can tell you about what's going to happen next week, or maybe the week after, because it always depends at the moment on delivery speed. Okay, see you. Okay, back at the table. Now we're looking forward to next week to see what games are coming in. Next week won't be as busy as this week, but there's 2 games that have already been confirmed that are in high demand. So we have Sleeping Gods, the legacy game, and the expansion. And the other game that's already been confirmed is Super Skill Pinball. It has been delayed for quite a while, but finally it's coming next week. Unfortunately for Super Skill Pinball, it's already sold out to pre-orders. But we got enough copies for all the pre-orders, and we will send out the payment requests for the pre-orders on Monday, on the bank holiday. So you can pay, and we can get it shipped on Tuesday, when it hopefully will arrive early enough so we can ship it on the same day. Otherwise the shipments go out on Wednesday. Same for Sleeping Gods, they both come in the same delivery. And then we also heard from our supplier who sells the games from Iron Game Design, the Parks series of games, and Parks Viking and Parks Renaissance 2nd edition are now in the warehouse, and they already processed our order, so it should get shipped today or early next week, and then depending on how quick it goes through customs, we should have it by the end of next week or maybe early 2nd week of May. But they are definitely on the way. We got enough stock. Parks Viking, there's a few copies left. Parks Renaissance, I think there's also some left from the pre-orders. And we also get, with the same delivery, we get restock of High Frontier for All. And for the first time, we will also get some of the expansion modules coming in. So that's a good news. Not too many games, but high quality games, and all 4 of them are in high demand. So have a look at the website if you haven't placed the pre-order yet. Maybe you have a chance to still sneak your order in. Yeah, that's so far all from me for this week. Next week, maybe I have time to do some unboxing videos. There were quite a few new games from Pegasus where you can't get too many informations about on Board Game Geek. And because we, for all the new Pegasus Spiele games, always get demo copies, I can maybe do an unboxing video for at least 1 or 2 of them. So yeah, look out for these maybe end of next week. And then on Friday, as always, the news show. Okay, enjoy your bank holiday weekend and hopefully see you next week. Bye.